Hi everyone, welcome to Kats Creations live on Sunday evening, where tonight we are going to be making one of our first fall wreaths for 2021. So we're using the sign, it's a 10-inch round from Personalize It by Pam, who you can find on Etsy. We're going to be using two different color fabric, jute mesh, which is an orange and a black and white. We'll be adding some embellishments, some ribbons, and a bow to top everything off, and then we'll be good to go. The first thing we have to do is get through our housekeeping and then wire up our wreath frame. So let me go through these. If you want to be notified when I go live, which is basically Sundays at 6, what is it, 8 Central, and then 9 Eastern, and then also Fridays at 5 Pacific, 7 Central, 8 Eastern. I hate going through all that. But pick your time, and then those are your times for me. When we go live, you want to make sure you're tapping on your screen right now. You will click the 3 dots in the upper right hand corner. That will open a sub menu in this live that will allow you to turn your live notifications on or off. You can do that on any live, and then that way it sets up your live notifications. But Facebook, being what Facebook is, may not necessarily work 100% of the time. So just note the times of your favorite people you like to catch their lives. My times stay consistent. I don't generally change, but occasionally we'll do a pop-up. If you like this design and want to make it once you have all your supplies in, or maybe you already have them and this will just become an incentive for you to put all yours together, click the share button at the bottom. This shares the video to your page, and then you're able to have that ready when you want to get together and do the step-by-step tutorial. If you are new, let us know where you're from, and we'd like to welcome you. YouTube subscribers, yours is a little bit different. You just either hit the subscribe button or the subscription bell in the upper right hand corner, and then you'll be notified whenever we drop a new video.
Feel free to like and share.
I think I already covered that one.
Sunday.
Let me get my tablet up and going.
Welcome everyone. If you're new, let us know what city and state you're from.
Oh, you're on the Happy Fall Wreath, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Peaky Jub is watching. Hi, Peaky Jub.
Awesome. Because we are using quite a bit of ribbon that I got from her shop as well. So let's get started. So we are going to, as soon as I can get my tablet staying where it won't slide down, 14-inch dollar to wreath frame. So going back to the basics, we've been doing the work frame wreaths for a while, so this gives it to you in a way that if you can't find a work frame wreath, or you just want to keep your costs down, a 14-inch dollar to wreath frame is perfect. I am doing mine in orange and black. No, it's not Halloween. Those are just going to be my base colors. I've already done the first 5 sections for you. The 6th section, we are going to take a pipe cleaner, and you're just going to wire the 2 innermost rings. So you're going to use the weld marks on either side to help give you a midway point. So that's about midway. And then you're going to do the same for the outer 2. So you're going to use this and either the left or right weld mark to come up with a midway point for your outside, and wire together the outside 2. This is just a standard method that works for me. I can get generally most of the wreath methods made with this layout. So there's about 6 different base method types. Thank you, Giles, for finally leading the facilities. So we're all set. We're all ready to go. This gives you 12 to the outside, 6 to the inside. We will be removing the inside 6 as we work around our wreath, because with our sign and our bow, it's going to not need the 6 on the inside. We're just going to be working the outside. So all of our deco mesh is cut to 20-inch pieces. We're going to be doing ruffles. The deco mesh, I believe, came from Kringle Designs on both. So this is just a orange, what they call striped fabric mesh. So we're just going to go ahead and pull this forward. Just like this, I'm going to put orange where orange is and black and white where the black is. This way I don't have to like really be paying attention to what color goes where. It also kind of coordinates with the ribbon that I will be using. This one's a little bit of a challenge of a design. You could have gone farmhouse, just black and white, pop the orange, you know, technically wherever you have you know, the orange in the sign, but it's also got a base of blue. And so that's what I'm going to also be playing to, is we're going to be adding touches of that royal blue to this wreath as well. So, making sure I get all these in. I'm going to have to skip over that because I should have grabbed another orange, which is not a problem. I'll just skip it. And then I'll come back and add that to the outside. Okay. Hi, Teresa from Cincinnati, Ohio.
I'm glad you guys are staying cool. It's pretty much a heat wave across the country.
Well, here's the thing. I've heard it's a heat wave on both sides of the coast, but the people in the middle are staying relatively comfortable compared to those of us baking on the East Coast and West Coast, which are kind of a little out of the ordinary, depending upon where you live. So hopefully these temperatures will pass quickly. This particular type of deco mesh cannot be cut with a wood burning tool. It has to be cut with a rotary cutter. A piece that just...
I'm Mary from North Las Vegas. We're only about
3 hours.
3 hours from you?
Well, North Las Vegas?
3.5.
Yeah, I was going to say about 3.5. Okay, now we're back to the inside.
Kathy said it's 84 in Dallas. Yeah, that's relatively cool.
I would take your 84 in Dallas to,
105.
I think we're at 105 right now. So I'll trade you. You can have the 105. But then we don't have the humidity here, so we are thankful for that. But
yeah, Kathy said it's 88 degrees, and that's in Maine. So it's 9 o'clock.
See? Yeah. That is extraordinarily bizarre. So I know a lot of people are like, okay, we're experiencing weird weather.
Thank you for sharing, Donna.
Oh, here's another thing. Stars at the bottom, which is a new icon you guys may or may not have seen. Maybe you've seen it, don't know what it is. Stars are basically tips. Sometimes wreath makers will use those for goals, like they might have a goal to do something for a fundraiser, and you can use that. Basically what it is for every star that you gift during a live, it equates to 1 cent. So if you send 50 stars, that's like a 50-cent tip. So when you see people doing that, that's exactly what those are and what they're doing.
Tamala says 111 in Portland.
See?
Wow.
These are like unheard of temperatures, because it's like we've lived in the Southern California deserts. Why? Because it's inexpensive for as long as we have. So it's not unusual for us to have those, and we've always longed to move to coastal cities like Portland, Maine, and then here you guys are having these extreme heat waves.
Yeah. Mary, we're about the same temperature because we're in Victorville, about 3.5 hours south of you. She's the one up in North Vegas.
Oh, gotcha.
Teresa said, I've been missing you. I had kidney surgery. Hope you're doing well.
Ooh, kidney surgery.
Watching you create beautiful wreaths.
So I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I hope she's doing well.
Yeah, definitely. You can sit. You don't have to stand. Are you on a marathon thing now?
No.
Enjoy sitting. Pull up a chair. Have a seat. Okay. Hi, Connie. How are you?
Hi, Rita.
I know you and I are like toggling back and forth between comments. Hopefully, my live is actually going to show my live.
Pat said, yeah, it's 107 in Redmond, Oregon. It is so freakishly weird right now for Seattle or for Washington, Oregon.
For any extremely northern coastal cities to ever experience this type of heat. A lot of those people don't have air.
It's Canada's fault.
Why is it Canada's
Because
fault?
they're holding back all that cool weather. That's where all the hellos come from.
Okay. Right. Yes, they're holding us hostage with their cold weather.
Yep. They're keeping it all in Canada.
Ooh, Sue said it's 113 degrees right now in Springfield, Oregon. I know right where that's at. That's just not fun. 109 yesterday. Miserable. You're right. This is, well, for you guys, it is not normal for you at all. So hopefully it'll pass and this will just be one of those, hey, record scorcher years, and you won't have a repeat of them the rest of the year.
Yeah. Mary said, I know where you are. I used to work for NASA at Edwards. My brother works at Edwards.
I know.
What kind of orange mesh is
this? This is a orange fabric mesh. So, this one, no sparkle, no glitter. So that's why I chose to go with this particular type of mesh. No glitter. And right now it looks very Halloween, doesn't it? It's all, could be doing this. People are looking at the sign, looking at the base, going, Halloween fall, Halloween fall. We'll see how it works.
Hi Shirley. Hi gals just joining.
This was a tough one for me because I pulled beige mesh, like beige and white mesh, just to kind of go with those colors. And then it's like you've got this border around the outside and then the darkness in the back. So I'm like, it's basically saying, pick black, but then there's blue, and then there's orange pumpkins, and then there's a white pumpkin. So we will go with that.
It's weird, even from here, is the checker outside black?
It's black and white. Yeah, it's black and white. I know. I've had to grab 2 different types of black and white checkered ribbon because the first one looked black and white, but then when I pulled it out, it's actually a dark navy and white. So yes, can be misleading. Trash can is handy and close by today. We'll see if Kat decides to use it.
And what kind of black and white mesh?
Same. It is a jute burlap mesh. Basically, they just have natural fibers in them. The fabric mesh actually has cotton fibers in it, whereas the black and white have the burlap jute. Still natural fibers, but of a different natural origin.
Yep, so unfortunately you couldn't wood burn either.
Could not wood burn either. Nope. Unless I wanted it just to smoke a lot. We are more than halfway. A couple more. And then we will rapidly get everything done. So I know you guys, thank you guys for those of you that are popping in and joining us. I know it's a late night for a Sunday.
Teresa, that's a good question. Do you find so much harder to work with? Which kind?
I don't like working with poly burlap because poly burlap is like what you see all the people using for the flowers, the mesh flowers. And it's only because that mesh is a rubberized burlap. So you can cut it with the wood burning tool, but because the columns and the rows are so wide, it frays regardless of what you use. So if you're using it on something like this to create ruffles, it doesn't like to stay. It wants to fray anyway.
The sign is from Personalize It by Pam on Etsy.
Yep.
So you can just search Personalize It by Pam and it's on Etsy.
Yeah, these are one of the new 10-inch signs. So as a wreath maker, sometimes 8s are too small. 12s are just a tad bit too large. So working with a 10-inch sign, which is new for us this year, gives you many, many more options. We just have more real estate to work with. And I know I have fake birds somewhere. I just don't know where. Which tells me when the temperatures die down, I need to organize some of my supplies because sometimes the birds are in the spring bins and I just want to have those in my embellishment box. So I can just pick from there. Okay. So making sure.
Janice, I love that sign. It is different. It's really pretty.
It is very different. Okay, I'm trying to get our mesh to stay where it needs to. So 3 more pieces. Why do I have 4? 4 more pieces. And then we'll be done. So 3 more black and white, 1 more orange. So the only thing you can do in something like this, because it does continue to fray, is once you are finished. I always say once you're finished because you're going to come back in here. You're going to play with it to add a bow. You'll play with it to add your sign, your embellishments. So once you're finished touching everything, then get some E6000 adhesive spray and spray the whole base. And then that way it'll help those the fibers from this edge to stop falling out. It's not a dry, stiff adhesive, but it will work to help keep them in place. This is our last internal one. This would be a really good base for a vintage Halloween.
Yeah.
So, now, do I have anything in the works? Oh, I do. On my second shelf, left-hand side for the mesh, I think I have a vintage Halloween sign that would have worked. I'm like already thinking. Sometimes that's where you get your best inspiration, is as you're working on one wreath, you're like, ooh, this would work good for something else. Let's see. Oh yeah, they would. Let me see those. Look at these. So these came from 30 Birds Nest, so these are coming up into my vintage Halloween, but look, ooh, that would look so good with this mesh base color. And then also this one, which just says Halloween, trending on a little bit more of the creepier factor. But yeah, if you want these, 3 Birds Nest Co. on Etsy, and actually she's working on her own website as well. So she will be having that website up and going in conjunction with her Etsy shop. And on all things vintage.
Do you have a tutorial on using the wood burning tool to cut the mesh?
The easiest one off the top of my head I can refer you to that is in the public group. Go to my YouTube channel, which is KatsCreationsNMore, and search for April Showers Wreath. At the beginning of that video, I show you how to use the wood burning tool, because we actually use the wood burning tool on that particular design. Okay, so now let's go back in. Why do I have 2 pairs of scissors? Okay, we are going to add in our ribbons, which are all ready to go. So we have this 2.5 inch with the black and white gingham, perfect for our sign, came to us from Pinky Jub.
Yep.
And then also this pumpkin, it's the white and orange pumpkins on natural, which is from Pinky Jub as well.
Yep.
These are both cut to 14-inch pieces. We're going to be putting the black and white, obviously, on the black and white. And the regular pattern is going to go on our orange. So we're going to go ahead and add these to the outside 12. Could come in and add some adorable pumpkins, but Kat hasn't pulled down all her fall embellishments yet. But Hobby Lobby has fall. I think all their fall, all of their fall is already out. So sadly, when I looked at the ribbon this year for fall, Everything is the same from last year.
Carol said, love that base.
It's super pretty. So we'll see how it goes as we build all the way around. I don't know why I'm going to the left, but we're going to the left. So we should build this pretty quick. Flip that around. You know what's funny is I did not add this one to my shop yet.
Really?
No, normally I do a pre, and I didn't. We're so caught up watching Alone season 8. That's what we've been doing all day in the heat. Staying out of the heat, but catching up on Alone, which is amazing. If you've never seen it, it's like the way Survivor should have been.
One person in the wilderness, nobody else.
10 competitors that are all dropped off in remote regions. This is in British Columbia, I believe.
Northern Alaska. Or northern
British Columbia this year. And they have to survive. But they don't know if any of the other 9 people have already tapped out or if they are the lone survivor. So I think the longest they've held out has been like 80 something days.
I think there's somebody that hit 100 days. Yeah.
Crazy. That's just crazy to me. But it's so good. So, and you're only allowed to take 10 items, and they have to be approved 10 items. So if you can't catch your food, odds are you're going to be tapping out because you're going to go hungry.
Jay said, I want to watch Alone too. I haven't missed a season. It's great.
Oh, see? If you go to Amazon Prime,
yeah,
you can get all of season 8 right now. So I was like, oh, better than the movies.
Personalize it by Amazon. She said, oh, we love that show.
You do? I love that show too. Can't believe some of the people that are like, we always try to gauge based on the early people. Do you think that person's going to last, or you think they'll tap out?
Yeah.
I always hope that one of the women will make it, but sadly they lose more weight than the other people do. And they end up losing too much weight, and then they get pulled from the show. Because you're only allowed to lose, I think, up to 30% of your body weight.
Depends.
And then they become medically unstable, and they are pulled from the game.
Depends, because there's one guy on this season who's like 60 or 70 pounds overweight, so he can afford to lose that weight.
Right, but it's still an average.
Yeah.
He still can't lose any more than 30% of his overall body weight. And yeah, people do bulk up to try to make it, but sadly, they are just, their bodies require more calories than people who don't bulk up. So they feel the effects of being hungry quicker. Okay. Let's see. 3 more to go, and then we'll work on our half bows. There's so many different variations you could do. I could have done all orange and just left the black and white out, but like I said, it just seems like black and white's like, hey, notice me.
Hey, girls, just joining.
Plus, it's a great farmhouse fall. Farmhouse fall. Right? Farmhouse fall. Okay. There we go. All right. Last one, and then we're going to go spin around the outside one more time as we put in our 1.5 inches, which will all be cut to 18-inch pieces for half bows. And we will do that now. So obviously, the black and white gingham is going to go on the black and white with the pumpkins. And then we have the royal blue which is going to go on top of our pumpkins, just the regular pumpkins on the natural. So for half bows, you're just going to bring your tails together. You're going to take it up to about 2 inches from the top, pinch that together. That's going to go directly inside, and then you'll give it 3 or 4 twists. Cut the excess off. You will twist that little nub of a pipe cleaner back behind that ribbon you just added. You will open up your ribbon, right one of your tails, and then this is what a half bow looks like, just like that. So I'm going to go around, start adding these. Three, 4, 5. Okay. And then we're going to add our blue to the other to pop the blue into this design. Otherwise it starts to look like a fall, like Halloween.
Questions out there?
I was just gonna say, the black and white gingham is from Sam's. This was part of their spring ribbon this year. And then the royal blue solid came from Kringle Designs.
And those are cut to 18 inches.
Yes.
And the 2.5 are cut to 14.
Yes. You have everything right there. Okay. Spin it around. Please sit.
Okay.
I'm like, sometimes it is, but I'm actually feeling much better than I did earlier. So, might just be the heat.
See a lot of people popping off and popping back on, so who knows, Facebook might just be having some issues.
Could be.
I saw somebody said it keeps stopping, but not on our part or our end.
Yeah. Gail, I can actually see the floor in my craft room. Major cleaning. That's because you're switching out all of your designs.
Is that the last thing you see?
Mm-hmm.
It's from a long time.
Oh. Yeah. That's my very last comment. See, my tablet's a little slow today too. Remember I told you my tablet earlier?
Yeah.
I would see the comments, but the video was never moving. Never moving. Let's put you under. Trying to rearrange some of my ribbon. Sometimes the center ribbon just gets in the way. Or the center deco mesh. It doesn't stay where it's supposed to. I skipped one. Okay. What are you guys working on right now? Are you working on anything in particular? Summer. 4th of July should pretty much be done. Unless you're doing something for a local event. Here's the center, just kind of get in the way of everything. Sometimes it just needs to be redirected.
Oh, Claire said I'm working on the Dallas Cowboys wreath.
Nice. Those are fun. I love doing out of the ordinary customs.
Rita said she's working on a fall grapevine wreath for an order.
Nice. Love grapevines for fall. I want to do some new colors for fall.
Valerie's working on a beach wreath.
That's great.
Ravina says she's working on a fall welcome wreath as well.
I don't see those comments. They pop up on the screen, but they're not rolling to the bottom.
Maybe it's trying to scroll maybe all the way to the bottom.
No, that's what I had before. Nope.
David says I don't mind doing first rail today for fall.
Nice. I love rails.
Gail Lou said I'm doing a patriotic for myself, made everyone else one and not for me. Then I'm planning on doing a witch's hat.
Ooh. Yes.
Kim said the blue is pretty.
In the blue, I love just this orange. And those are, the reason why these look so well, the blue with the orange, is they're complementary colors. So on the color wheel, they are directly opposed to each other, which means they go good together. Hence, red and green, why they look so good together. Purple and yellow. It's also football teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's where sports teams get the color codes.
Carter said she's also working on a craft fair that's in August.
Nice.
Good luck. Hope you sell out.
A lot of people have done really, really well on their craft fairs.
And Mary Wilson said she's teaching a wreath making class to her community tomorrow. She lives in a 55 plus.
How fun!
We're doing 4th of July. Awesome.
That should be totally fun. Just imagine, you'll be able to know that people everywhere are decorating their door based on what you taught them.
Hannah said she's working on a Halloween and fall. Marlene said I'm working on a Halloween boo vintage wreath.
Okay.
And a beach wreath. Hi Teresa, she says hi from Indiana, just finished a lemon wreath and Americana patriotic wreath.
Very nice. That was one thing I didn't do this year, was a lemon wreath.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I did one a couple years ago. I've done a couple lemonade ones, but no, not this year.
Linda, the sign is from Personalize It by Pam on Etsy. The 10-inch round.
One more of each, and then we will work on our bow.
She said that's her state bird here in Massachusetts.
What is that bird? Is it a chickadee or is it a sparrow?
No, it's not a sparrow.
Or it could be totally something different.
She said, beautiful, I love the added blue. Nancy said getting ready for a farmer's market in 2 weeks. She said chickadee.
Chickadee, that's what I thought. And I have to change that because I think the title for my instruction thing is Happy Fall Sparrows. So, nope, it is a chickadee. Then this would be a great wreath for your state. Always readjusting those side ruffles.
Oh, Personalize It by Pam said chickadee too.
Chickadee. They look super cute.
So Pam, you could post your site on here. Go ahead and post it for the gals.
If you want to post your link so they can go, she's got great stuff. You're going to want to buy a lot of her stuff. I'm fair warning you now. You can blame me. That's what I tell Gail all the time. I'm like, you got to go check out the site. She goes, why? And I'm like, I'm apologizing ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna go. You're gonna spend money there. I want to see some vintage. Oh, some really nice vintage. Like vintage for me would be, for Christmas, it would be like Charles Dickens font, something like that, like Old World Christmas. Make sure these are all open. Okay, I'm gonna set this aside. We're gonna make the bow. Here's all my sprays. Not much, just a little bit. And we're gonna use our bow dabra. We are going to lay down the black and white. Then we'll come in with this one. We will probably come back in with the black and white. Then, let me think about this. We will go orange, then black and white, then our blue, and then we're going to top it off with this blue fall plaid. So those are our colors for our bow. So,
Sandy Young says she was trying to do a cross deco mesh that you've done. It's the purple and white. What size were the mesh? It was a 10-inch.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 10 inch.
Cuts to 10-inch cuts to 10 inches.
Yep.
Pam said she'll add the link in just a minute.
Okay, so we're starting with 10-inch tail. So at 10 inches, we're going to pinch in, and then we're going to twist. Just like so. Push it all the way down, and then that way it will kind of, people ask how do you keep it from not collapsing when you pull it all out of the stack. Just make sure you're pushing your ribbon all the way down so it's as flat and as flush as possible. We're going 6.5 inch, not 6.5, 5.5 inch for the loops. So I'm always bringing my bow dabra back to the 10 because I always measure out to the side, off to the left, and we're going back out.
Oh, Claire, good for you. She said I made the haunted house from yesterday and it sold.
Mine sold too.
Yep, I knew I should have bought more.
Those are like one of those things. It's like, do you add it to your inventory? When I saw what happened with the spring ones, I was like, so if you can find any of those houses decorated for any of the holidays, you're probably a safe bet to pick up a couple. Because those will do really, really well. It just depends on how well the design that you finish comes out to be. But I'll be boxing that up. I think it's going to Virginia. So, and then I'll have to design something else. Okay, 9.5 inch on the fall print. And this one's gonna have 5-inch loops. So, 5.
Thank you, Pam. Pam just
Added her link.
So I pinned it for a little while.
Thanks, Pam. I appreciate it. So I'm sure I'll see people pop off. I'm gonna go look and see what's in Pam's shop.
She said I'm training a new puppy. He's my new shop helper.
Ugh.
Or shop destroyer.
Keep straight pins away from him. And ribbon rolls. They like to pick up the ribbon rolls and cart them off. Okay. Then we're doing our orange, solid orange.
Pinky Jub, if you're on, feel free to also post your link for your ribbon.
Ribbon and signs.
And signs.
And deco mesh. So these are going to be key suppliers for supplies. So if you're like me, when I first started out and I would watch a ton of lives, I would listen to where people were saying they were getting their supplies from, and I would just compose a list. I'd use it on the notepad of my phone. So I was like,
Any of our vendors who are on, go ahead and post your link.
Are there anybody else?
Well, Pinky Jub are on. Personalize with Amazon.
So this third ribbon, the tails are 9 inches and the loop size are 4.5 inches. Ooh.
Marissa just did a lot of damage at Pam's shop.
I'm sure she appreciates you. We all appreciate our sign people.
And our vendors, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. See, my whole problem is I shop, and I probably am collecting last year's items, and then they come out with this year's items, and I'm like, darn it, need those too. Because it just inspires you. You're like, I already have the whole wreath pretty much factored into my mind where it's going to go. Okay, let's get our black and white.
Oh, that's nice, Claire. I only watch you and 2 others. Too many confusing differences.
I watch people occasionally, but I don't follow a lot. Here's the reason. Not that I think that people aren't talented. I just don't want to be influenced by somebody else's design. So, yeah, sometimes you get stuck for creativity and you're like, ooh, what to make next? I have to just go back to my basic methods of remember how it was when you started. Your inspiration came from a sign or it came from a ribbon, and then just kind of let that go. The black and white gingham is 8.5 inches for our tail length, and then it is 4.5 inches for our loop. Yeah. I keep saying I'm going to post pictures about what I bought at Hobby Lobby. I haven't done it yet. I basically bought a lot of Christmas ornaments, believe it or not, because here's my fault, thinking they'll be around when I need them. All of the stuff in Hobby Lobby will be gone by Thanksgiving. All the good stuff will all be picked out by then.
Maybe even by Labor Day, September.
I think it might even be sooner this year. So if you find something you like, adorable little scarecrows you think about maybe putting in a wreath design, pick them up now. I know nobody wants to pay full price, but when they're all out and you wish you would have got it, you'd be like, I would have had no problem, paying $9.99 or $14.99 for those now.
Claire, yeah, Kat does the same thing. She says, I'm learning to look for 50-yard rolls.
I do the 50 and 100-yard rolls in colors that I do all the time. Like moss green, I use year-round, so I will always buy any of those colors.
Red,
in
black.
50. Oh yeah, all solid colors, easily. If I could find them in 100-yard rolls, I'd have them. Because you use them all the time. I realize that this takes up less space than a bigger roll, but I would have less of solid colors to have to find shelf space for. I just keep solids with solids and everything else would be print.
I think Claire said I like watching you because you were a Christian.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, we're of Christ.
Exactly. Okay, this ribbon is from Craft Outlet. And Craft Outlet just got restocks in of all their really pretty falls. So you're gonna see me do a lot of orange and blues this year. This last one is gonna be 7.5 inches with 3.5 inch loops. And this will tie all those colors together perfectly. The blues, the whites. You just don't want to go crazy and pick all the colors and try to squeeze all those colors into the wreath. There's that one, 3.5, out to 7.5.
Rita, that's okay. That's a good thing. She says, I watch a lot, but mostly to see how the ribbons are chosen and how they put them together for the designs. She still struggles with that.
color choice on your ribbons? Should come, I think Rita is in my private group. Watch the color theory and ribbon class, and I think that will help you out tremendously. For those of you that are interested in my private group, I do have one. You can sign up one of two ways. You can do yearly and save 2 months. You basically pay for 10 months and get 2 months free, or you can do monthly, and those are available at my website at KatsCreationsNMore.com. We meet every Sunday at 3 Pacific, 5 Central, 6 Eastern, and then Mondays through August are our business classes. And our business class tomorrow is on watermarking class and photo editing class. I am going to use orange for my pipe cleaner. Okay, so I'll move this out of the way again. When you pick this up, the first thing you want to do is smush everything down, okay? Then you're going to grab it like a 3-layer club sandwich. So here's all that extra bread. So everything is stacked nicely. So just reposition your fingers so that you can actually go right between your 2 middle fingers while your thumb and the other 2 are still holding everything together, and then just twist it. So you get a really good spin on it. Okay. Take this. That's a little down. Okay.
Like you said, you keep me busy now just watching you. France, I love the wreath on the door in the back. Are you doing a tutorial on that?
I did. It's in my private group. I taught them how to make the fall felt leaf wreath. I'm only making one because they're very time consuming, labor intensive, but yes. So even if you join today, you can watch the tutorial because all the tutorials are available in the private group for as long as you're a member. So everything I did all the way back from February of 2018 to current, you can watch them all. Okay, so when we're separating our ribbons, we're separating tails from loops, and they go directly across from each other, the top and the bottom stack. And then we're going to do the opposites as we pull the next row down, just like that. Go over to the other side. We're gonna pull the tail out here, loop here. And what that does is it kind of creates that alternating colors as we work our ribbon all the way down. So we're gonna go here with our orange. Here's orange on the other side. I'm not fluffing yet, I'm just separating. Here is our gingham. If you forget, just look at the one on top and go opposite. I am going to separate my solid from this, otherwise I have solids and patterns on the others. So I'm going to go back to the same side, because we can. And then we're going to grab this, and then this. And then once you have everything here, this is where you start to pull your loops up, figure out what colors you want to go where, make sure everything lines up where it's supposed to be.
Well, I wonder if Pikachu is still on.
Why?
Because I just tried to go to her Etsy shop.
Mm-hmm.
It says she's on a quick break.
I don't know. Oops, grab the wrong one. This goes over here. Okay, so now, here is, here's our bow. Super simple. Okay. So now we're just gonna pop this off. Cat did it upside down. Nope. There we go. What I did. Okay. Now we can put it on. So before I do that, I want to look at placement of everything So we have our sign. Happy Fall, thankfully, is kind of moved down. So I think I'm gonna drop it instead of being right in the center. I'm gonna move it down to the right. And then I'm gonna come in with our bow. I don't know why this one tail just wants to go to the other side.
Hi, Dawn.
I think we're gonna come in here like this. I like that look. So, preview.
Yep.
Hold on.
Yeah, it kind of slips a little.
Preview. There you go. So I'm gonna move this off to the side. I'm gonna take my 1.5 millimeter metal hole punch pliers. Cat's gonna have to get new ones. I've only had them for 3.5 years. I'm going to punch a hole in the top of my sign and once at the bottom. I'm going to grab some floral wire right here. This is 22 gauge floral wire, just because I have so many layers of mesh to get through.
Vanetta, that's a 10-inch round sign.
These went smaller, so I like these ones. Now that's kind of what I look for when I go and I see the rounds. I'm all, is it a 10-inch? Oh, it's 12 or 8. So this is almost the ideal size for us. So I'm going to go ahead and wire this. Make sure I've got even. And then we'll twist this from the back so that it'll stay on the back side. Do the same thing for our top. One, two. Okay, when you went to Pinky Jub, did you go to Pinky Jub Designs?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I'm looking for one of my center pipe cleaners, just so I make sure I have everything lined up okay. So I'm going to move this to the bottom right. Go ahead and get this down to my frame. Don't want to go too far, because in case I need to adjust.
I guess I did not. I just went to Pinky Jub, so.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll copy
Pinky
this
Jub
one.
Designs. I think she had 2 different.
Yeah.
And migrated everything over. Oop. Trying to poke it through. There we go. Back where it needs to be. Okay. Let's pull some of our mesh out. Readjust our ribbon tails. We'll grab these ones. Might need to readjust this over just a smidge. Let's put our bow on first. So we're going right about here.
Clara, yeah, we will put this on YouTube once we are done. Once Kat's done tonight.
I'm going. This is why pipe cleaners, the bane of my existence. Just working with fabric mesh, because they always get caught up on one little thread. Okay. Don't pull too hard, because then you'll collapse your bow. Let's go ahead and get everything reorganized. So now we can bring this sign over just a touch, which is why I don't go too far. Just move this over ever so slightly. That we're not completely smashing the bows to the outside. Even though it looks like we did that anyway. There we go. We just have to get everything readjusted.
Roxana, yeah, we will share, or I will zoom in on the sign when she's done and kind of picks it up. I'll zoom in on it so you can see it.
Trying to pull out some of our mesh just trapped underneath. Let's grab this. There we go. Okay, so far, this is what we have. Again, I keep having to readjust the bows around the bottom, but this is where we're at so far. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of an embellishment with the fall leaves. So we're gonna have some fall leaves around the wreath itself, just to kind of play to the fall colors. Even though it's in our ribbon, and you could stop now if you wanted, I'm just gonna do it because I have them all out. I have a tendency of going with the darker colors, and these are all from the Dollar Tree. So I'm gonna break these apart, which make them extraordinarily affordable when you're a new wreath maker starting out, and supplies, it's always gonna be about your costs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if we can get a couple more that aren't. One more. Right here. Okay. Glue gun is on. So I'm going to add these just under my blue ribbon. Or should we add them to the black and white? I'm not sure. I like them on the blue. You see them better on the blue. So we're going with the blue. So I'm just going to go right down the stem, and this is going to lay just up underneath our half bows, just to give it a little bit of a fall dressing. I'm just picking my colors.
Claire said, if I'm not interested in the business part of your private group, is it still an advantage to me? Yes, she'll give you much more in-depth, step-by-step instructions on all the wreaths that she does. And then you said in August, right, it's going to be nothing but
August, it's all full design classes.
design. Yeah.
But keep in mind, the business classes are things like how to post your pictures, how to take good photos for marketing, how to use Facebook, how to use Pinterest, how to use Instagram to help bring traffic to your site, why that's important. The color class is crucial. I think that's probably one of my group's most favorite. Plus, you get all the discounts from all the suppliers like Three Birds Nest, Pinky Jub. They all offer our group members discounts. So that, just between some of that, it all pretty much pays for itself.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, it's like is it $250? No, I think it's closer to
It's like $3.50 a week.
It's actually $4.25 a week is exactly what it is. If you think about it. $17 a month.
Yeah. So
it's $4.25 a week. And we're just getting started with all the good stuff. Okay, let's do this one. And then we'll be
done.
done.
You get material lists for every wreath that she does.
Yeah, so like this one, if you want, it's kind of like looking at my notebook for designs. So you get all the SKU numbers, all the links, what we did. You know, it'd be like 9 orange fabric mesh. Here's the item number. Here's where it came from. We did ruffles on those. You know, we did half bows on our 1.5 inches. We did tails, or we did double bows, or we did whatever.
Gail, the discount codes are inside the private group. She has a link, right? I think you have a page for all the codes.
It's a document that shows you all the different ways you can save as group members. Okay, we're all done.
Yay.
Yay, we're all done. Okay, so let me show you what this looks like on the door. Let me do this. Pins away. Okay, so this one here. This one goes up on the door. So here is our Happy Fall Wreath. I'm gonna straighten my bows up in here because it is way too hot to be doing it outside of my porch. I'm gonna walk out and go, oh my God, it's too hot. Click, 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 take pictures quickly.
Diana, we're from Southern California.
Here we go. So when you're taking your photos, make sure all your ribbon points, all your tails are straight. Don't need no curly, nothing, unless that's the look. You know, everything needs to be out. All your ties, everything open, fluffy, pretty, exposed. All of these. These are tails. There we go. Sometimes you have to work with gravity, so you can kind of tuck them. You don't want them to be like static, but you don't want them just like flopping. So, and then there you guys go. There you have it. There's our Happy Fall for 2021. What is this, June 2021? But that's normal for us. We're always doing Halloween and fall in June and July. So what questions do you guys have that I can answer for you?
That's a beautiful, Paris is beautiful, Gail says gorgeous.
Awesome. Making sure I don't have pins.
Yeah.
Pins are like the bane. They're the things our cats will play with, things you don't want them to have. So, okay, well, private group people, I will see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock Pacific, 7 Central, 8 Eastern. The rest of you, I will see you Friday at the same time, 5 Pacific, 7 Central, and 8 Eastern time. I'm working on some new designs. I'm just waiting to see if my signs come in. So I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great evening, everyone. Bye-bye.